Right now, we view artificial intelligence as a self-sustaining engine. We picture a boundless intelligence, constantly expanding in all directions, feeding its own growth. But mathematically, that engine is a strictly closed loop, and it is on a collision course with a hard physical wall. This entire technological boom runs on a specific finite fuel, us. If the machine exhausts the supply of human-generated data to consume, the progress we see today will physically grind to a halt. Look at the equation in this chart. It maps a brutal reality. AI evolution depends entirely on a mathematical function of human knowledge. The math is rigid. If the input of new human knowledge drops to zero, the AI's evolutionary progress identically drops to zero. You can see the mechanics of this stall right here in the gradient loss graph. Without new information coming in, the system loses its learning signal. The neural weights cannot be updated, and the curve completely flatlines. The stakes here are immediate. We are rapidly burning through the final reserves of untapped raw digital data on the internet. A model cannot pull raw facts out of a vacuum. Without a fresh source of computational fuel, the machine starves. But there is a mathematical loophole. AI might not actually need raw, undiscovered data to generate new ideas. Think about Euclidean geometry. You don't need a constant supply of new outside truths to build it. You can derive an infinite number of highly complex theorems entirely from a few foundational, static axioms. This diagram shows exactly how AI approaches existing human knowledge, mapping collected facts into a strictly bounded, closed mathematical environment. Inside that glass cube, the AI recombines our baseline facts millions of times over, growing branching canopies of derived theorems, ideas that are effectively new. The machine mathematically illuminates every hidden corner of the information we already have. Mining that latent space comes at a staggering physical cost. Calculating billions of logical recombinations requires a brutal volume of raw computational power. To grow and invent, early human societies relied on a dense biological energy source to fuel their physical expansion: rice. For our modern synthetic infrastructure to think, it needs a different kind of harvest. Advanced microchips are the physical calories powering this new expansion. Which brings us to TSMC. Their manufacturing facilities operate as the singular architects of this civilizational energy portal. To keep the machine fed, they are pushing toward 2-nanometer architecture, a scale where engineers must contend with quantum tunneling and electron leakage just to keep a signal stable. Without these specific atomic-scale breakthroughs, that entire theoretical tree of knowledge stays permanently frozen. We are caught in a massive feedback loop. The AI's mathematical hunger demands more compute, which forces us to build physics-defying hardware. And as mapped out here, those advanced chips provide the computational headroom for deeper knowledge recombination, which immediately sparks demand for even more hardware. Standard business logic and market sentiment fall apart when evaluating companies operating at this base layer. True valuation at this scale is dictated strictly by physical laws. It comes down to a company's structural irreplaceability in the supply chain of human advancement. Purchasing equity in these specific technological constraints is a direct investment in the regeneration mechanism of human knowledge. The system is deeply imperfect. Neural networks hallucinate logic, and silicon chips face firm thermal limits. But those physical and logical boundaries are the essential, jagged seams where true innovation actually takes root. We are standing beneath that glowing tree, feeding it the silicon rice it needs to stretch out and map the very edges of the glass cube. As our raw digital data runs dry, our survival depends entirely on pushing the brutal physics of microchips just a little bit further, keeping the mathematical universe expanding.